when you were at BYU, saw him in high school. What do you like about his game? What do you think about his game? And how difficult is it to stop him from a defensive?
He's awesome. Like, he's really, really skilled. He's got unbelievable hands. He uses his body really well. He's got great touch around the rim. But I think his hands and his feet are really special. He's you see him kind of play with the ball, and it's pretty fun. Him passing out of the post is actually really fun. Whether you send a double or leave him one-on-one or kind of play a dig, he's one of those. A lot of times you kind of you have a scheme where you're dig to the pickup, right? Where you're just trying to trick him to the pickup. And he kind of just like, yep. Play the game. He's more interested in seeing how much he can suck you in. There's some guys that most of us are for lack of a better way to say it, doing the game. We're trying to do what we're supposed to do in the game. And then there's some guys that you watch, you're like, oh, he's playing. Like, he's actually teasing the game. He's like trying to move all the pieces. He's a terrific player.
Gives you any worries or concerns?
Yeah, they're big. They have great size. They're really disciplined in what they do. They have some really aggressive guard play. Guys that go make plays. They're a good team. They've had a. It's interesting. You see in this league, there's some teams that really struggle, and then all of a sudden they're winning, and some teams that are winning, all of a sudden they struggle, and it's because it's close. Because there's a lot of good teams in this league, and they're certainly one of them. They have superstar talent. They're really well coached. They got toughness and discipline, and so they had every good team in this league on the ropes. They had Auburn on the ropes. They had Florida on the ropes. They had everybody on the ropes. So a good team, well coached, just like every single team in this league.
Talk about Trent a little bit post-game in the weekly radio show last night. Obviously, he was signed and committed to South Carolina before he came back here. And obviously, he was doing different things as a high schooler than he's doing now in this year's team. So can you just speak a little bit to Trent's progression and maybe the things that you're asking him to do, and how a guy who scored so many points in high school has kind of shifted his game to fit what you need him to do this season?
Yeah, he's he's a special young man. He's a terrific basketball player, and he's been really good for us. He's been good for us on the court in games, on the court in practice, in the locker room. He's like a sponge. He just learns so fast. He really takes information and he'll execute after one conversation, which is a tremendous skill. He's going to be a great player.
But you guys, since the injuries of Kerr and Lamont, there's been a lot of competition when they get back. But there's been kind of a lack of bench production outside of Andrew at times and scoring the ball. Has there been any talks about maybe seeing if these guys can go more minutes in the starting rotation, or especially maybe Amari?
Yeah, you're always bouncing back and forth because you're trying to, for us, the pace of the game is really important. It's important how we play, and we function well the way we function offensively because of our pace and because of our movement away from the ball, and all that it takes energy, right? We're an energy team. We are. There are some teams in our league that are not. They're just execution and kind of brute physicality teams, and we're an energy team. We feed off energy. We live and thrive off energy, and we kind of, the way we were built was kind of beat teams through just wave after wave of energy, and so there's. We've kind of gone to some space where we went 3 or 4 games where we were playing several guys, a bunch of guys, over the 30-minute mark, and it's a real argument we had, and we kind of go back and forth with ourselves. Right now we're trying to stretch exactly the opposite way of what you're suggesting. We think we have good young players, and so we'd like to expand their minutes so we can, so we can have more intensity and energy on the court more consistently from different guys. But time is going to tell whether that's actually a winning strategy or not. I mean, we'll see. It just depends on how guys develop and where our health and roster sits. All that's going to kind of remain to be seen. But for us to be at the very best we can be with the players we have, the way we're built, the way we're designed, the way our skill sets flow, the more energy we can infuse in this game is a really key part of it, and so we're going to keep trying to stretch that way, and I think we can. I think we can do it.
Defenses slow you guys. When defenses slow you guys down, what do you do to kind of spark that energy back up again?
So in the half court, you can create a ton of energy too. So that's and we've had real success doing that this year. It's just you have to be more diligent and forceful to do it. If team's a 5-back team, let's say a team's just running 5 guys back and trying to take away transitions, it's okay. If teams pushing up, if they're really jamming our inbounds pass or our outlet pass, sometimes, and with our, as we're reinventing our backcourt right now, sometimes you might not have a ton of pace getting across half court, but once you get in the half court, you can have exceptional pace. And we didn't do that well. For example, the first several possessions against Ole Miss, the first 6 possessions we weren't great, but after that we were creating some pace and momentum at half court, and we're good at it, and it's something we count on.
You mentioned the other night about frustration after the loss at Ole Miss. What kind of steps can you take to help the team get over the frustration of the loss and the lost series?
Key for us is just to keep looking inward at each other. So, back to energy it's just lifeblood, right? So, frustration, disappointment, failure, doubt, worry, all as human beings, it forces us to kind of lock inwardly. It's interesting, when you watch people, when you watch their body language, you see people looking down, you see people looking up, right? And you see people avoiding contact. It's usually because you have all those things, right? You see people celebrating. They're always trying to find eyes, right? You see them. You're drawn to people. It's an energy space, and so the most important thing that we can do to deal with frustration or worry or doubt or failure or setbacks is we can keep getting in a huddle where we are actually looking at each other, because that's where you find trust and faith and energy and enthusiasm and care and love and all those things that actually are energy givers. And that's probably the thing that we're leaning into the most. We talked about that for a long time this morning in our film session, that right now we're going to find these answers in each other, and that's really important. And it's really true. It's actually true in basketball. It's true in life.
Is there any update you can give us on Kerr, maybe what he's doing from a basketball perspective, if anything, when he might come back, and is he getting to the point where he might not come back this season?
So he's not doing anything active on the court yet, but he's doing much more active stuff in the weight room and in the training room. And so it's the next step is just to see what that response is. Like there's, it's a matter of how quickly and if he can get over the soreness in that step, and then it's a matter of getting on the court to do some light things on the court and see how quickly soreness, you're just healing bone, right? And it's complicated, not great blood flow bone, and so that part is. It's there's no magic wand to it. It's just so that's where he is right now. He's still limited to the training room and the weight room, and at some point when he meets those kind of pain threshold benchmarks, he'll move on to the court and start a light process there, and then it's kind of rediscovery about seeing like how much can he handle, how quick is the recovery. You're always wondering what does it feel like the next day is probably where we're most interested in finding data there.
And he's really been shooting the ball really well in SEC play. How's he been able to keep that scoring up while transitioning from playing off ball with Lamont and then going to point guard?
Yeah, I mean, he's carrying a lot, right? It's super cool, and you're watching him grow, and it's a little bit under duress for sure, but he is, he is an elite level shooter, and it's one of the parts of his game that's really special. And he's, it's what he does. I guess that would be my best answer. It's one of the things, not the thing, but it's one of the things that he does and does really well, and he's got a special skill set for.
That's when he's playing point guard, or?
Well, but our point guards kind of get the ball out of their hands pretty quick and then have opportunities to get it back. And so, but yes, it is like he's kind of a third shot at it, where normally he was a second shot at it kind of guy. But when we're good, we have so much ball movement that we get through that pretty quick.
Are there one or two things that you've identified that you think will help you defensively, that you can put into place like right away?
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit last night. I think we just need to stretch what we're asking of our guys and what they're asking of themselves and each other. So, we're at the point of the season where we're like, man, maybe some misses on my part. Certainly, our dedication to everyday shell defense has been something where I've kind of failed us a little bit. It's a piece where we need to get better. In our ball screen defense, this requirement of like anticipating the pickup and recovering, this part of like that being the signal that's a guaranteed, and then a full devotion to sprint to recover is really, really important for us. So that's something that we'll spend some time working on. Maybe my faith in the numbers is actually getting challenged right now, because the numbers have really just punched us right in the face. And I've been an analytics guy my whole career and haven't felt bludgeoned like I have by the numbers, especially recently. And so, we're actually second guessing like a Kentucky effect on the numbers. Do we need to modify the numbers we're seeing just based on us and the built? And I'm not saying just the name across this jersey, but I'm saying the makeup of our team, about how we function. Do I need to, am I getting tricked by some of the things that we normally go into games and trust? Or is it anomaly? Is it just a wide swinging anomaly where, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater kind of vibe? So I'm mad at the numbers, and so we're digging deeper into them, right? And there's a whole host of other things. In a general sense, our presentation on the ball is left us wanting. We're the least disruptive team in the league, and we're also, in some ways we're hemorrhaging in some other spaces. So there's just we're having a little bit of a modified approach to how we're dealing with that. But I could probably go on and on and on. That's
when you talk about the numbers, are you talking about the numbers on your own team, or are you talking about the numbers of what the
Numbers on the opponent.
Or they get to you and then what they do against?
Yeah, a little bit both. Yeah, just trusting that part. And just the general philosophical numbers about, mid-range, 10-foot shots, off-the-bounce shots, that places where we normally have a lot of faith, and also personnel too, both of those things. But part of that is, part of that also is the comfort that we allow teams to play in, right? And so there's both, they're all those are all factors, and it's and so those, we're trying to evaluate all those things. In the meantime, right now we have very, very specific ways where we can be better. We can have a better presence on the defensive end.
A few weeks ago of Amari taking a step, and it seems like even in losses he has done that. What kind of changes to his game outside of just bringing the ball up has changed his outlook or his perspective, whatever it may be, his performances of late?
His decision making has been way better. You think he's a 10-3 guy, man? That's crazy. And on the road against the best or second best defensive team in our league. I think him, he's pulled back on some risky decision making, which I think has really, really helped him a lot. I think he's getting more and more comfortable kind of playing philosophically the way we play, that we have a bunch of concepts that actually buy you more time and more space to make a read, make a decision. And so I think he's starting to understand how to implement some of those concepts where it actually takes hard decisions and makes them much simpler, gives you more time to make them. And he's playing with increasing physicality and just ball toughness on the offensive end. He's been really good.
Andrew looked a little more comfortable out there Tuesday. Did he come out of that game okay? Still on track?
Yeah, the best news is that he came out and feeling just as good as he did the day before. So that's the most important thing. I think he was really frustrated with his work on the defensive end. I think he made some really positive plays on the offensive end, some quick reads, some plays for teammates, some really physical attacking things at the rim. So he's coming. He's gonna get back to having a massive impact on our team.
Before that, at some point soon, Lamont Butler is going to give it a try, and you guys are kind of assess what happens.
Yep.
I guess, how soon is that? Is that Saturday? And just in terms of his process, what are you guys going to be looking for when he does give it that try?
Yeah, he's going to move around on the court, non-contact a little bit today, and so we'll kind of just see how it is tomorrow. And I don't know exactly when that's going to be. I really don't. We'll kind of vibe it out. We're. It's a little bit the same frame of mind, and I don't know if it's accurate, if it should be, but I'm a little the same frame of mind that I was with Andrew, where I would like to get him back in a position where we have the best chance of not having another setback. I'm hoping that's where we are with Drew, where now he can just grow his way back into the game. I don't exactly know what that's going to be. We're kind of taking in the data every day as it comes and kind of making game time decisions every day on what the next step is. But he is going to be on the court in a non-contact situation today, and we'll see how that feels.
Mark, you said after the loss Tuesday that you guys had some chapters, like a chapter where you weren't good on the glass and
Yeah.
chapter fouling, now chapter with perimeter defense. Is it almost like it's kind of tough to do everything right and like check all the boxes? It's not impossible, obviously, but is it almost like it's tough and you kind of have to put it together at the right time?
It's really tough, and thank goodness it is, because otherwise, what would we be doing? You know what I mean? Like, we love that it's tough. Like, tough has a chance to, if we do this right, guys. I'm a big believer in that. I love when the story gets murky. I love when you start to doubt. Those are my favorite times because that's when really special things happen. It's really painful. We get angry with each other on the staff and in the locker room and everywhere else, and there's frustration and all the things that come with it. But I love the story. I love the story. I love it. And it's super painful. Man, I did my radio show last night, and I had a couple callers in, and you could just feel the pain in their heart, man, in their voice. You could just feel the pain, but it's the journey that we go on together that's incredible, right? And it's not, and it doesn't always work out. Sometimes it just doesn't work out, and that's never acceptable, but sometimes it doesn't work out, and that's why it is so incredibly intoxicating to be a part of it, and it's why it's so fun to be in the grind where, I still haven't showered yet, and that's smelly, but it's actually super cool, and it's like we know that here. Like BBN knows that. They know, like, grinding and trying, like, desperately trying to find answers and trying to find resolve and trying to figure it out. And it's actually super cool. It's really great that we get to do that together. And it is painful. But so it's tough that, you wish you could just, if I was a smarter coach, we would figure it all out in one day, and there wouldn't be like, you wouldn't kind of feel like you get to a solution here, but then you start leaking water somewhere else. But that's actually just basketball, and it makes it great, and then it's, winning championships sometimes looks easy, but a lot of times, what you don't see is that, man, we barely got over the threshold. Like, it could have gone bad 100 different ways, and so this is it is tough, and it's what it's supposed to be, and it's and all of those things are true at the same time, and we love it. Like, we love it. I love winning, and we'd like to get to that as soon as possible. But this journey is pretty great.
Oh, right.
Yeah, thank you.
Mark, I know you had a stretch last season at Oklahoma where you scored 10 or more in 10 straight games. I know, obviously, you guys played differently offensively than Oklahoma. But I guess, did you ever envision a scenario where he not only would be your leading scorer this season, but the fact he's the only player in the SEC to score in double digits every single game?
No, I did not. And that's, again, going back to it, that's why this is so great, I'm so proud of him, right? You know, he's one of the guys, to be honest with you, before the season, one of my curiosities about him was like, what would his consistency feel like? And man, he's
Only offensively, though?
no, just in the game and Joe, you're always, you know, everybody, like the game bludgeons you, right? And so you're always wondering, but he's been, I mean, come on, like the only one. He's the only one right now, and that's pretty special, and that's a real credit to him. It's a credit to him and how he's built and what he's made of, and he is putting together a really extraordinary season, and also doing it like with some weirdness happening around him, right? Like he's been really special. I'm proud of him, and he's obviously just a massive part of our team and this league and college basketball. Thanks, guys.